Because today is a day when we recognize all of our hard work this year. Because our goal for all of you is to go to college or have a wonderful career. So whether you want to be a doctor, a dentist, a lawyer, a teacher, a carpenter, a plumber, we know that you have to work hard and do well in school. So today what we're going to do is we're going to recognize our friends that are most improved in their classrooms, which means they work the hardest, and we're going to recognize our friends that have the highest scores at their grade level. We're also going to recognize some staff members, and we're going to take time to thank a lot of people who have helped us today, okay? So, Mr. Nasser is going to say some remarks, and then what we're going to do is we're going to say our Pledge of Allegiance, and then we're going to have some special thanks from some folks, and then we're going to start our award ceremony, okay? So I'm going to start this off with some special thanks, and I know I'm going to miss some people, so I'm going to apologize in advance, because one, I can't read my own handwriting, two, I have to wear glasses part of the time, and three, I'm kind of nervous, okay? Okay, so here we go. So first of all, we want to thank some of the folks who helped put this together. So we want to thank, and I'm going to name a bunch of folks, and then we'll clap at the end, okay? So we want to thank our custodians, Lance and Karen. We want to thank our friends from the band. We want to thank our friends from Union, the Color Guard. We want to thank some special folks that are here today. We have friends from the Grand Rapids Community Foundation. Boys and girls, those are the friends that are helping with our Challenge Scholars program, okay? Now that officially starts when you're in 4th grade. So for our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade friends, as you go into 4th grade, you become what we call a Challenge Scholar, which means that when you graduate, not if you graduate, not if, when you graduate from Union High School, your college is paid for. Isn't that cool? Yes, let's clap for that. So, I know for a fact that we have Mrs. Diana Seeger here, and I know we have Ruth here, and Amanda here, and is Chris here today? No, can you raise your hands again? Did I miss some friends from the Grand Rapids Community Foundation? Okay, let's clap for our friends from the Grand Rapids Community Foundation. Also, making this program possible today is John and Callie from our communications office, if they could raise their hands. And boys and girls and parents, if you ever hear somebody talking about the Grand Rapids Public Schools and they sound really smart, that's John or Superintendent Neal, one of those two, okay? Okay, in addition, we have some special guests. We have Mary Jo Coleman, who is with the Grand Rapids Public Schools and supporting our Challenge Scholars program. We also have Dr. Garner, who is principal at Westwood Middle. He's a very important person to us. And boys and girls, Dr. Garner is not a medical doctor. His doctorate is in education. So you can become a doctor of something other than medicine if you study and work hard enough, okay? All right, we also have people here supporting us from colleges and universities. I'm going to name some of the organizations that are here supporting us. We should have representatives from the West Grand neighborhood, Grand Rapids Public Library, MSU Alumni Group, Davenport, Hope, Calvin, GVSU, Aquinas, and Ferris, and we want to say a special thank you to Donna from Ferris. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, and also, where's Miss Heatley? Miss Heatley, can you come out front a second? Boys and girls, Miss Heatley is a new person in our school this year. She's our College Career Pathways Coordinator, and she has helped get all these special things up in the building and decorations and field trips. I want you to give her a special round of applause. If you are a Harrison Park staff member, could you raise your hand, please? Hi. Okay, and that includes our yellow shirts. Raise your hands, friends. Okay, let's clap for all of our wonderful staff. If you are a parent who was invited to come today, could you raise your hands, please? Thank you. Let's give a special applause for our parents. This is going to be hard. If you're a student, I want you to raise your hand and clap at the same time. Can you do that? All right. And I also want to recognize two people who work very closely with me and who see me in my finest moments and in my worst moments. So we want to recognize our two wonderful assistant principals, Ms. Katie Beebe and Ms. Stephanie Blau. Thank you. Okay, so before we do the awards, we have some special things we need to do. So we're going to start off with having all of you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And we're going to stand and look this way, friends. Remember how we do that? We take our right hand, because we don't do the pledge every day in every classroom, because we want to make sure we have enough instructional time. Put your right hand over your heart, and I'll lead us in the pledge, okay? Here's our color guard. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, friends, we have a special guest today, and I also want to acknowledge Mel Atkins Jr. Where is Mel's here? He is another supporter for the Grand Rapids Public Schools and helps us out. And also, you probably recognize Mr. Atkins because his wife, Anna Atkins, is one of our staff members. So we're lucky to have them both here. All right, at this time, I want to introduce our interim superintendent, Mrs. Teresa Neal. I want you to give her a big round of applause, friends.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for the invitation. On behalf of the Grand Rapids Board of Education and the entire district, I want to express our thanks. Congratulations to all of the Harrison Park students, teachers, support staff, and to your wonderful principal, Mike Nasser, for this remarkable work that you guys have done this year. It's been a great year for you. Before I start, I do want to acknowledge three people actually, that are here with me that I work very closely with, and they're members of my cabinet. So it's the people that I go to the most. There's 9 of us, but I want Mel Atkins Jr. to stand up, Mary Jo Pullman to stand up, and John, I'm not sure, John is always texting you guys, John Hemholt, to stand up. These are the people that I work very closely with, and they think so much of Harrison Park, so I want you to give them a round of applause. I really mean it. Thank you. There's one other person that I really want to stand up, and she doesn't like to be acknowledged a lot publicly, but she has been a supporter of not only Harrison Park, but for years of the Grand Rapids Public Schools in this entire community. And when I do need something, she's a person that I can call, someone that I can trust. And so I'm going to ask Ms. Diana Seeger to stand up. And I want you to join me in thanking Diana. She's the leader of the Grand Rapids Community Foundation, and she really is a supporter of Harrison Park and the Grand Rapids Public Schools. It is because of Diana's leadership and the generous donations from the Grand Rapids Community Foundation that this Challenge Scholarship is even a reality here. She really pushed us all to think and to go back to the table, and so I really appreciate that. I want to thank the community partners who are volunteering and engaging in the Challenge Scholarship initiatives. our universities, we have West Side businesses, elected officials, parents, and there's so many others, but this really is almost a dream come true for Grand Rapids Public Schools, for people to step up and to help us with our students going to college. I love it. This is something new. It is a movement in Grand Rapids, and you may feel it. I spoke with a couple of teachers, even here this morning, they feel it. We are one family, one team, and we are going to do it. And we're going to start right here with Harrison Park in this group going to college. So that's really important. We have partners with the City of Grand Rapids, Mayor George Hartwell, and his staff. They work very closely with us. We have churches and other organizations in this community that's working with us to make this possible. You may have heard about the White House coming, the faith-based and neighborhood partnerships. I think it was last week. They came to Ottawa Hills High School to recognize Grand Rapids Public Schools for all of the hard work and to join into an even bigger partnership with us. You guys will be able to participate in that as we start and to become a model really for this community. And the only reason we're able to do this is because of you. The students here at Harrison Park and other schools in Grand Rapids Public Schools, our teachers, support staff, and this community. We are going to read about all the wonderful things that you're doing. And had I known that we should wear our t-shirts, I would have worn a Grand Valley State University t-shirt or a Western. I didn't know that. Next time I come, I'll wear my t-shirt so that I can have the same thing that you guys have on. We have high expectations of you. Your teachers believe in you, your parents, your grandparents. I'm going to try to be still. I like to walk around. We all want you to do so well and believe that you can do it. Your principal is going to share some information to show proof that you can do it and that you have done it. We want to continue this movement. You continue to work hard in what you're doing, and we'll continue to celebrate. Thank you for allowing me to share this moment with you. And I think Mr. Nasser is going to come up and we're going to give out awards, right?
Yep.
Thank you very much. Now you need your class?
In a moment, high school. John? Juan Gonzalez? Hey, Juan. Come on. Hey, friends. When you go to high school and you work really hard, you can be the top student in 12th grade at your high school. That student is called the valedictorian. So today we're going to recognize the top scoring students in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade in reading and math. We have with us today the valedictorian, the top scoring student in all of Union High School this school year. Can you give a big round of applause to Juan Gonzalez?
Hello. As Mr. Nasser said, my name is Juan Gonzalez, and I went to Harrison Middle School since 6th grade. Sadly, I didn't go to elementary school. And it's been a really, really long haul to get to 12th grade, but I know all of you guys can make it. I did. All of you can do it as well. It's only a couple years from now, and pretty soon you guys will be standing at graduation with your caps and gowns and ready to get your diploma and then move on to college. Congratulations, guys, and good luck with your scholarship and college.
Okay, so friends, I want you to listen to this because this is what we worked all year for, okay? So I want you to listen closely. So in life, friends, and in school, there are times where you have to show what you know, okay? If you're a football player, you play games, and you might be in the Super Bowl. And if you're a soccer player, you play games, and your team might make it to the World Cup. And when you go out on that field, you got to step up and you got to perform, right? So, 3 times a year, we measure how you do. Just like when you go to the doctor, you stand on the scale, right? We measure you, and measure how you grow. So 3 times a year, friends, we measure how you grow. But we don't measure your height and weight, we measure your academic skills, okay? How many people know what their math score was this year? Raise your hand, students, if you talk to your teachers and you know what your math score is. Good. Today, we have a special announcement, and I told some teachers, because I was so excited I couldn't hold it back, and I told some staff. Last year, friends, we took the math test, all of our friends in grades kindergarten through 8, and we especially looked closely at 1st through 8, and we got a score. So this year, we worked really hard. Your teachers know that we look at their scores, we talk about them 5 times a year, we talk about what we can do better, we talk about behavior, we talk about being safe, respectful, responsible, all those things. So I am so proud to say that from last spring to this spring, our school has a 25% increase in our academic achievement scores. Can we clap for that? Now we know our kids struggle with fractions and percentages, so I'm going to leave it to the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade staff to go back after the assembly and translate what that means to our friends. So boys and girls, it would kind of be like if you have 4 pieces of pizza, and then somebody gave you another piece, that's how much more we have, okay? So we're very excited about that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a special ceremony, and in a moment, our friends from the City High Band are going to give us a little drum roll, and what's going to happen is Ms. Villalta is going to start off, and Ms. Villalta is going to name students, starting with 1st grade and through 2nd grade, and our friends are going to come up on the stage, and they're going to get a medal, and then they're going to shake hands with Superintendent Neal and Dana Seeger, and then they're going to go back and sit down. So what we're going to do is we're going to call up their names. We haven't rehearsed this. This is live television. So, you know, there could be a few little snafus, all right? So we want to invite up Dana Seeger and Interim Superintendent Neal, and we want a big drum roll from our band. Here we go.
Hello? We're going to start with 1st grade. We're going to start with Mrs. Harvey's classroom. For most improved math, we have James Williams. And for most improved reading, we have Caleb Zavala. From Mrs. Perales' class, for most improved math, we have Brian Rodriguez. For most improved reading, we have Daniel Iloa. From Mrs. Atkins' class, we have Mauricio Hernandez for most improved math, and we have Susan Correa for most improved reading. For Mrs. St. Dennis's classroom, for most improved math, we have Marco Anguiano. And for most improved reading, we have Yoreli Quinones. From Mrs. Hamstra and Mrs. Bowers' 1st grade class, for most improved math, we have Courtney Gonzalez. And for most improved reading, we have Jeremiah Carroll. Now for 1st grade highest scorers. Our 1st grader with the highest score in math was Precious Jones. And our 1st grader with the highest reading score was Aaliyah Clay. Congratulations, 1st graders. We're going to move on to 2nd grade. We're going to start with Mrs. McGarry's classroom. From Mrs. McGarry's room with most improved math, we had Gibran Cara Guzman. And he was also our most improved reading. From Mrs. Seisig's classroom, we had, for most improved math, Jared Maraquin Ayala.
And for most improved reading, we have Jaritzi Muniz. From Mrs. Bear's classroom, for most improved math, we had Jaden Williams. And for most improved reading, we had Jose Morales Gonzalez. From Mrs. Colley's classroom, for most improved math, we had Alexis Canis. And for most improved reading, we had a tie between Tayshawn Bell and Navon Carter. From Mrs. Doyle's classroom, we had for most improved math and most improved reading, Jada Genty. From Mrs. Lanning's class, for most improved math, we had Ismail Peters. And for most improved reading, we had Nasir McCoy. And now we're at our highest scoring second graders. So our highest scoring math student in second grade, he's in the 91st percentile, is Drewy Lyon. And for our highest scoring second grader in reading, she is in the 83rd percentile, Janasia McKinney. Congratulations, second graders.
Okay, we do want to say that we wanted to invite all parents of all students, but obviously our school is so large that there wouldn't be room, okay? So students, if you're in the audience up here, I want you to know that we are very proud of your work, okay? And it's only because of space, all right? But I also want to remind you that in life, there are times where certain people get awards, and today is that day for some of our special students, okay? Okay, so now we move on to our friends in third grade. So for Miss Eckley's room, the most improved in math, Aubriana Martin. And most improved in reading, Francisco. For Mrs. Harrison's class, most improved in math, Dominic Poire. Most improved in reading, Maria Ixtos, excuse me. From Mr. Dillon's class, most improved in math, Alexis McKinney. Most improved in reading, Vicente Martinez. From Ms. Conley's class, most improved in math, Michael Reyes. Most improved in reading, Maribel Perez Nunez. From Ms. Pike's class, most improved in math, Jose Arroyo Pera. Most improved in reading, Jesse Laster. From Ms. Billingsley's class, most improved in math, Ardell Cruz. Ardell's got his own fan club up there, awesome. And most improved in reading, Teddy Hoogland. Nice job, Ardell. Okay, and I have the pleasure to announce our highest scoring third grade students, and we are so impressed with their work, and we want to thank their teachers. With our highest score in math, with a score of 225, it puts them on the 95th percentile nationally and the top 5% of all students in the country, Chevy Austin. And our highest score in reading, with a score of 224, on the 96th percentile nationally, the top 4% of the country, Sal Vasquez. Okay, at this time, we're doing something a little different, and the only way to get better, friends, is to do things a little differently, okay? So, we're doing things slightly different at our school, because not only are we recognizing some of our students, we are recognizing some of our staff. And I'm here before you to say that I am proud of every staff member at this school. We are a team. We are a team and we are a family. And we also celebrate those amongst us who have showed outstanding results, okay? Because we all work together. So if you're a third grade teacher, you count on K2 to get the students ready for you. And if you're an 8th grade teacher, you sure hope that all the way from kindergarten on up, every teacher has laid the foundation so that you can build on it, all right? So at this time, we are going to recognize by asking them to stand some individual teachers whose final math scores only became available to us yesterday, okay? First of all, with an overall percent of a growth of 81%, I want the third grade team to stand. 81% reading. Could you stand, please, the third grade team? We can acknowledge that. Okay. Within that third grade group, Mr. Derek Dillon had 92% growth in reading. Congratulations, Mr. Dillon. Mrs. Pike, 88% in reading. Congratulations, Ms. Pike. Ms. Harrison, 87% in reading. We also have some classrooms that have fewer students that offer extra support for students who need that support, and we want to acknowledge those classrooms. Mrs. Lanny, 86% growth in math. Ms. Billingsley, 89% growth in math. So, boys and girls, we're on a journey, and you're on this journey with us, right? Because what you have to do, and what your parents have to do, and we have to do, is we have to remember that this is a road that keeps going. It doesn't end with our assembly today. Because your journey goes through high school and into college. Because your folks and all of us here, in a few years, if I have to go to the dentist, or if I have to go to the doctor, or if I have to go visit a school, or if I have to go to the hospital, I want to see you working there. I want to see Harrison Park students having got their college degrees and having working in those jobs that are going to make you happy, your family proud, and help our whole country. So every day, you have got to work hard. And when Mr. Dillon or I, or one of the APs, talks to you on the playground about being safe, respectful, and responsible, it's not because we don't like you. It's not because we're picking on you. Because if we don't help you understand what you got to do to be successful, then we're not doing our job, are we? So we have 2 weeks of school to go, friends. It's very important that you work hard the last 2 weeks. We want everybody in school every day. We call your parents, we want it to be about a good thing, right? Okay? So, anything else that we need to add, guys? Are we all set? Okay, so just let me tell you what's going to happen is after you leave, we're going to do this whole thing again for our friends in 4th through 8th grade. Because we have a whole nother group of students that's just like you, worked really hard, and we want to celebrate, okay? So our friends that can stick around, the next assembly starts, it's scheduled to start at 10:20, although we might be able to make an announcement and make that a little sooner, because we got through this a little more quickly than we anticipated. So, let's give ourselves a big round of applause. Thank you. Okay? Thank you. All right, today is a very, very special day, because today is the day we're going to celebrate all your hard work this year. Today we're going to recognize classmates and friends that have shown extraordinary achievement in reading and math as measured by our math test. You know that 3 times a year we take the math, and just like in life, we have to decide where we are at certain points, and we have to take a measurement to see if we're ready for the future. So, you know our main job is to help you get prepared to go to college and have successful careers, correct? All right, have you heard that before? You have, okay? So today, we're going to talk about that, and we have special recognition for our friends in grades 4 through 8 that are most improved in reading and math in each classroom, and then our highest scores at each grade level, okay? So before we do that, we have some people that we need to thank who have helped us today, all right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you to kind of look this way, friends, because we have some special guests here today, all right? And I'm just going to name a bunch of folks in different organizations, and then we'll clap at the end, okay? So we have some special guests here, starting off with Interim Superintendent Teresa Neal. We have friends with us from the Grand Rapids Community Foundation, including Diana Seeger, Chris Cutzley, Ruth, Amanda. Did Gina come in? No? Okay. We have the president of our board of Education Grand Rapids Public Schools, Ms. Sunita Lanier. We have representatives from the schools in our district. We have Dr. Garner. Some of you met Dr. Garner. He's the principal at Westwood, and he's here today because some of you are going to have an opportunity to attend Westwood School. We have supporters here from different colleges and universities and area organizations that have helped us. We have supporters here from West Grand Neighborhood, Grand Rapids Public Library, MSU Alumni Group, Davenport, Hope, Calvin, GVSU, Aquinas, and Ferris. Okay? Did I miss any universities? Okay. So, friends, we are all in this together. So as we go through this today, I want you to remember that all of us are working on this together to improve our achievement. We also want to recognize our Harrison staff. So if you are an employee or work for Grand Rapids Public Schools at Harrison Park or otherwise, could you raise your hand, please? Don't be shy. All right, let's give a round of applause to all of our employees. We have the City High Band behind us. Let's give them a round of applause. We want to give a special thanks to an individual who has helped us in this journey, and there's 3 of them I want to name because they're part of our Challenge Scholars program. Because remember, if you are a 4th grader, raise your hand if you're a 4th grader. All right. 4th grade is the first group in the city of Grand Rapids that has a Challenge Scholarship, Challenge Scholars Promise Scholarship at the end of Union High School. You are going to college, and that's going to be paid for by the community in Grand Rapids Public Schools with the Grand Rapids Community Foundation. How many of our 4th graders went to Ferris State? Raise your hands high. How many of our students in this room took some field trip related to a college, a career, or Union High School? Raise your hand if you had a trip or an event that was connected to a college, career, or an event. Thank you very much. Put your hands down. So there's an individual that helped set this up for us to get us ready. Can Miss Gwen Heatley come out just a few steps, Miss Heatley? Can we give a big round of applause for Miss Heatley? I also want to recognize some other folks that the Grand Rapids Community Foundation has helped us with, and that would be our reading and math coaches, Ms. Kemperman and Ms. Wall over here. Raise their hands, please. Let's give them a round of applause. And friends, when you work every day with people, they get to know the best parts of you and the parts of you that you're working hard to improve, okay? And I have 2 individuals that work very closely with me, and we are a team, and we believe in you, and I want you to recognize Mrs. Beebe and Mrs. Valalta, our assistant principals. Okay, so finally, you're here because your parents care about you and care about your education. So we have a group of parents in the middle here whose students are going to be recognized for their awards. Can you raise your hands, parents? Let's give them a round of applause. Also, I want to recognize somebody who came in after we started our first assembly. How many of you have ever been to Brand's Restaurant? Right in our neighborhood, right in our community. This is Johnny Brand right here. He's been a big supporter of our school. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you. Okay, so friends, let me tell you how this is going to work. In just a moment, we're going to have our color guard come forward. In just a moment, they're going to come forward. They're going to stop. After they stop, we're going to stand. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. We're going to stay standing until they leave the floor and go over there. And then we're going to have special remarks from our interim superintendent, Teresa Neal. We're going to have some remarks by the valedictorian from Union High School. And then we're going to do our awards, okay? So at this time, we're going to quietly direct our attention to our color guard and respectfully wait for them to finish the procession here. Okay, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. So friends, with Memorial Day coming this weekend, we need to remember that we are lucky because we have lots of people who have either sacrificed or are in danger so that we can maintain our freedom. So let's respectfully do our Pledge of Allegiance, okay? Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. Okay, see it, please. So friends, we are very proud today because we have somebody here who's very, very busy, but who took time out of her day to join us and to help us celebrate our achievement. So I'd like you to give a warm round of applause to Interim Superintendent, Ms. Teresa Weatherall-Neal.
Good morning. Say it again. Good morning. Good morning. That's right. I'm so happy to be here this morning with you. I would like to first thank the Grand Rapids Board of Education members, President Sunita Lanier, who is here with me, and the entire district. We would like to congratulate you for all of your hard work, the students, our teachers, support staff, parents, and this entire community for all of your hard work. You've had a great year. I'd also like to ask you to join me in thanking a good friend of mine who has supported the Grand Rapids Public Schools since the day that I met her, and that was about 15 years or so ago. And that is Miss Diana Seeger from the Grand Rapids Community Foundation. She doesn't like attention to be shown on her, but you know what? She's been a great supporter of you guys. You just don't know. It is because of her generosity and donors to the foundation. They have been there to support you, and this Challenge Scholarship is awesome, but Diana really leads that effort, and so I want to thank her. I also want to thank our community partners. You have so many partners here. Brands is one, but there are many others. All of the West Side businesses, your colleges, elected officials, and then of course our parents. We really can't do this without you. We value you, we appreciate you being here. Feels like there's a movement going on in Grand Rapids right now, and I'm so proud to be a part of it, as all of you should be. You can almost feel it in the air when you walk in. It's like when you walk into school, you feel this joy here at Harrison. I love it. That's what's happening in the district across. We have foundations, nonprofits, churches, city elected officials, neighborhood associations. There's so many people that are out helping us. They want you to succeed. They appreciate all the hard work that our teachers and our staff members are doing. We were recently recognized by the White House, the Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships, because of Grand Rapids, because of you, because of your parents. They want to work with us so that we can continue what you're doing here at Harrison, we can do it across the district. We are pretty special. The only reason why is because of our students. You guys have done a great job at this school, and other people want to be a part of it. We have high expectations of you. You have high expectations, and your teachers. Your teachers want you to do the best, and you've done just that. You've done an awesome job. Again, I want to thank you for allowing me to share this time with you today as we continue our celebrations.
Okay, friends, when you go to high school, you work really hard, and at the end of high school, they select one student, and that student is a valedictorian. That means that's the student with the highest grade point average in 12th grade for that year, okay? Now, I can tell you, I worked really hard, and I'm proud of how I did, but I was not the valedictorian, okay? There were kids a lot smarter than me at my high school, which goes to show you how important hard work is. We are lucky today because we have the current Union High School valedictorian, who has the highest grade point average at Union High School, and I don't even know where this young man is going to college, but I can guarantee you who he is. Can we give a round of applause for Juan Gonzalez, please?
Good morning. Since Mr. Nasser brought it up, I'm going to Western Michigan University for college. And I also came to Harrison Middle School for all my middle school time before the new school was built. I'd like to say that all of you can get to high school. You're almost halfway there after all. And it's only 4 years, and it'll pass by a lot quicker than you guys think. Congratulations on the Challenge Scholars and all your hard work. It's gonna pay off in the end. Good luck to you all in college, and good luck with the ceremony. Thank you.
So I went to Central Michigan University, so, you know, questions are. Okay, so friends, today's an important day for us, okay? This is my 7th year as principal at the school. It's been a wonderful time. Last spring, Grand Rapids Community Foundation approached our district and our school and said, we would like to try something different. We would like to offer college scholarships starting with your current 4th graders, and we want to continue that so when they go to Westwood or stay at Harrison and graduate from Union High School, they can have a college scholarship waiting for them. So, the reason we're here today is that in order for that to happen, we've got to work hard, we've got to behave, and we have to achieve, right? So, sometimes it might feel like the adults are getting on you, picking on you, kind of, you know, giving you a little bit of pressure. Well, you know what? That's a good thing, okay? That's a good thing, because in order for you to achieve, you've got to work hard, and you've got to remember to be respectful, and you've got to be responsible, because outside this gym, friends, there are thousands and thousands of schools, and there are children in other countries who want those jobs as much as you do, right? And they're working hard too, and that's good. We want them to be successful. But we want to make sure that you're ready. All right? How many of you know your score from the map this spring? Raise your hand if you know what you got on that test. Beautiful. And I bet you knew your targets going in. And the most important thing to me is that you worked hard. If you worked hard and did your best, that's what counts. Now this group over here represents a group that is either most improved or the highest achieving at their grade. And like we told the first group, we're all here because we want you to graduate from high school and go to college, and we want you to have successful careers. So you don't have to go to college. You can go to a tech school, you can become a carpenter, an electrician, because we need all of those people to make our society function. We need people to build houses. We need people to fix things, okay? But we want you to work hard so that you can have the jobs you want and the careers you want. Like I told the first group, I've been a principal 20 years, and when you've done this job for a while, you start to see people in the community. And so, if I have to go to the dentist, or if I have to go to the hospital, or if I have to go to see a lawyer, I'd like to see you there. Hopefully I won't get in trouble, or too sick, but we want to have you there. We want you to have those jobs, because you can do it. But you got to make up your mind that you're going to work hard every day, okay? Because nobody's just going to hand it to you, because there's a whole line of other kids who are working just as hard as you, right? This young man didn't get to be valedictorian by just not doing his homework and not trying hard. He got that because he worked hard and he set a goal and he achieved it, all right? So today, we're going to start off with our 4th grade friends, and we're going to acknowledge the most improved student in each class in reading and math, and we're going to acknowledge the highest score, okay? So we're going to have some help from Ms. Dodo and Ms. Beebe and Ms. Walta, so they're going to come on up. Yep. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, so what's going to happen, friends, is they're going to come up, they're going to get their awards, and we're going to invite Superintendent Neal and Ms. Diane Seeger to come on up to shake their hands. Ms. Lanier, do you want to join us? No? Okay. All right, so I got lines drawn, names crossed off, pink highlighting, so you just have to be a little patient with me, okay? All right. All right, so we're just going to continuously read the names, and the students are going to come up and sit down, okay? So, for Ms. Manson's class, most improved in math, we have Anthony Pena, most improved in reading, Edward Sosa Rios. From Ms. Baxter's class, most improved in math, Kayla Green, and a tie for most improved in reading, Jose Duran and Wesley Shears. From Ms. Henschel's class, most improved in math, Cecilia Mendoza, most improved in reading, Khalil Tyler. From Ms. Thompson's class, we're going to switch the order a moment. Most improved in reading, we have 2 students, Alasia McCarter and Jaheim Brown. We also have 2 students that are the highest scoring students in 4th grade, and we're very excited to read their names. First of all, highest scoring student in reading is is Jonathan Williams. Jonathan Williams, come on up. Jonathan scored in the 89th percentile, which puts him in the top 11% of all students in the country. For Ms. Thompson's class, not only do we have the most improved in math, this student not only is the most improved, but also the highest scoring, which means this student did the most improvement, scored the highest, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's harder to improve when you're already high. Daquan Loggins is the highest scoring student in math in 4th grade. Daquan is on the 95th percentile. He's in the top 5% of all students in the country. Congratulations, Daquan. Okay, we're going to move on to our friends in 5th grade. We're going to start with Miss Jordan's class. And the most improved student in math is Tiara Carter, and the most improved student in reading is Jordan Thatcher. From Ms. Dillon's class, the most improved student in math is Leslie Succondino, and a tie for reading, Dallas Jackson and Beatrice Alvarado. On to Ms. Beal's class. Most improved in math is Juan Sosa. Most improved in reading, Sylvia Acosta. Okay, for Ms. Muncie's class, most improved in math, first of all, Christopher Juarez. Now this one you got to listen closely because this one gets a little complicated. This student is the most improved student in reading, the most improved student in math, the highest scoring student in reading in the 5th grade, on the 97th percentile, the top 3% in the nation, Tiana Hatter. So Tiana, I don't know if you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, but I want you taking care of me, okay? Thanks, honey. Okay, we're not done with 5th grade yet. We also have a 5th grade student here who is the youngest student in algebra in our school, and I believe maybe the youngest student in algebra in the district, okay? This student is the highest scorer in 5th grade on the 97th percentile, top 3% in the nation, Madison Shenefield. Proud to say that Mrs. Shenefield is principal at Cobble and also in our audience. Congratulations, Ms. Shenefield. Congratulations. I would say I don't know which one of them is smarter, but they got some smart children. Okay, we're going to move on to our friends in 6th grade. We're going to start with Miss Root's class, most improved in math, Juan Vasquez, most improved in reading, Idani Ayana. Give them a round of applause. Mr. Hartline's class, most improved in math, Maya Kelly, most improved in reading, Jeffrey Wyatt Green. When I want to know what to do, I check with Ms. Wall. Okay. Here we go. We're going to continue with our highest scoring 6th grade student. And before we do that, we're going to do Miss Ohana-Sheehan's. Excuse me. Miss Ohana-Sheehan's. Most improved in math, Amara Houston and Nashawn O'Neill. Come on up. And most improved in reading from Miss Ohana-Sheehan's class, Eric Wenslaw. Congratulations. Okay, now we have our highest scoring students in the 6th grade. Gerardo Garcia on the 86th percentile in math. Congratulations. And Evelyn Mendez-Diaz for reading, 79th percentile. Congratulations. And friends, it is so nice to hear you clapping for your peers, okay? That is very, very warming. Very, very nice. All right, we're going to move on to 7th grade. And I know that we have some students absent, but we are going to say the names. First of all, most improved in math from Ms. Greenland's class, Justin Wright. Most improved in reading, Motasha Williams. From Mr. Welsh's class, most improved in math, I believe this student is not here today, Joseph Tuzlowski. Most improved in reading, Ellie Juarez. Okay, we are on to the highest scoring students in math and reading in 7th grade. So the highest scoring student in reading first is Taylor Ortiz. Taylor Ortiz is on the 93rd percentile nationally, the top 7% of the country. And I will tell you that when we first did this, Taylor had the highest score in reading in the school, and then we had a few students that we had to test after I made the list. So we have a student who scored a little higher than Taylor, who's actually going to be one of our trophy winners when we get to the end, okay? So that's good news. Our highest scoring student in math is also the most improved math student in Mr. Welsh's class, the highest scoring student in math, Boot Win, 93rd percentile, top 7% of the country. Okay, on to the students that are our seniors. These are 8th grade students, and we are so proud because I can tell you that Ms. Heatley has a list, and Ms. Heatley, I believe you have every student identified for their destination for next year. Is that correct? So we know where you're going, whether it's Union ABC, whether it's Crescent, whether it's a different program, a special program. Do we not have every student identified? All right, let's give ourselves a round of applause. So if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a map, it's pretty hard to get to your destination, right? All right, here we go. From Miss Edelman's room, most improved in math, we have Jose Ceballos and Damian Sanchez. Most improved in reading is a student who says hi to me every single day without fault. Jalen Hall, congratulations, most improved in reading. Congratulations. Okay, on to Miss Dam's classroom. And we have the most improved student in reading and math happens to be the same student. And I'm so proud to announce the student because I told him this during the winter and he kept working. That is Nikhil Thornton, most improved in reading and math. Okay, we have special recognition because we have a group of students that take algebra, and they take algebra with Ms. Kemperman, who I think is over there. And we want to recognize the most improved student in algebra is Ramiro Garcia. Let's give him a round of applause. And I want to tell you that all of our algebra students, who we are so very proud of, are all going to the University of Michigan on June 1st for a field trip. So we can let them know who's coming, right? Okay, so now we have the privilege of announcing the highest scores in 8th grade. In math, we have Pedro Hernandez, and in reading, we have Diana Vidal. Okay, so it's time to announce our two valedictorians. These are the highest scoring students in reading and math in the entire building, and they represent hard work and effort and achievement. So with the highest score in the building in math, we want to bring up Boot Win again. Congratulations, Boot Win. Boot had a 256 on the math score in math. And Boo receives a trophy for that achievement. The student who slipped by Taylor Ortiz is Gerardo Garcia. Gerardo Garcia is our highest scoring student in reading, again in the 92nd percentile with a 243. Gerardo Garcia. Now here's the scary part. Some of these kids are in the algebra class also. Is that not scary? Congratulations. You don't want to argue with those kids. Okay. So all of our staff have worked very hard, and we're proud of all of our achievement, because in order for a 6th grader, 7th grader, 8th grader to do well, they need a good teacher from K4, don't they? And in order for a 4th grade teacher to do well, they need a good classroom in 3rd grade. So we are going to recognize a small group of teachers who have exhibited some excellent improvement on the spring math scores, and I'm going to temper this by saying that we are proud of all of our staff, but we also want to recognize some outstanding achievement. With 80% of students making growth in reading, ask Ms. Bunsey to stand for a moment. Ms. Bunsey, could you stand? This award is somewhat shared because these students started their math this year with Ms. Dams, and then they finished the year with Ms. Edelman. 85% of students making their growth. Ms. Edelman, could you stand, please? 85% math. Now, Ms. Edelman might be a little mad at me, but we gave Mrs. Edelman this math assignment in the middle of the year. Was it before Christmas break we shared that information? Okay. That was my gift to Ms. Edelman, is, by the way, when you come back, please be prepared to teach 8th grade math. Yes, that's what she said. And I want to share that Mrs. Edelman and many of our teachers have spent a large amount of time working with our coaches. And I know that Mrs. Kemperman did a great deal of planning with Mrs. Edelman, went in and modeled, observed her class, and showed us that when we really work smarter and work harder, we can get higher results. So thank you, both of you, for showing that. Let's give them a round of applause. Ms. Kemperman, Ms. Edelman. Okay, the next acknowledgement I want to make is Mr. Hartline. Mr. Hartline, could you stand, please? Where's Mr. Hartline? Okay. Mr. Hartline has a growth of 81% reading and 77% math. Congratulations, Mr. Hartline. Mr. Hartline comes to us from the private sector. He worked at Kodak. So Kodak's gone, but we're glad you're here. So, and Mr. Hartline brings his experience from the private sector, talks a lot about analyzing data, looking at numbers, and Mr. Hartline, this is a second career for him, and he's chosen this because he wants to give back like all of our staff. So congratulations. Okay, we are done with this part of the program. Thank you.